Happening today in Bardstown, two of the men charged in Crystal Rogers' death appearing in courtroom today. Steve and Joseph Lawson are asking for separate trials, also away from Rogers' ex-boyfriend, Brooks Houck. But one of the top headlines from the court appearance today, what the prosecutor said when he was asked about the additional searches for the remains of Crystal Rogers. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. Our Focus reporter, Travis Breeze, and photojournalist Jessica Farley traveled down to Bardstown to listen in on those arguments to keep the trials separate.
Attorneys for Joseph Lawson say there's a much larger pool of evidence against Brooks Houck, and so it makes sense to separate these trials. While that decision looms, the judge is already looking at possible hotel stays for a February trial in Warren County. While the decision on separate trials is yet to be made, the pool of evidence is nearly complete. Prosecutor Shane Young says he's combing through the last files from the U.S. Attorney's Office and that not much was added after recent searches.
I know there's been a couple additional searches. Is there anything additional coming from that? Or
no, sir, not much.
The FBI most recently searched a property in Cox's Creek on September 6th, one of many over the past several years. Friday was a hearing for father and son Steve and Joseph Lawson. Joseph's attorney gave the judge a manila folder with recorded statements from Steve that they say need to be excluded or allow the cases to be tried separately so they can cross-examine Steve. They say Steve implies that Joseph and Brooks Houck met and planned the destruction of Crystal's car, which ended up being found on the Bluegrass Parkway. In addition to the arguments between father and son, they both want to be separated from Brooks Houck, who they say has received significantly more media coverage and has way more evidence against him.
Kind of the gross disparity of evidence between Mr. Houck especially and Joseph Lawson. And then what I believe is an unavoidable bleed over of evidence from Mr. Houck. Causing prejudice against Mr. Lawson.
Judge Charles Sims asked Joseph's attorneys to file more of their arguments online before he rules on the separation. They are beginning to look at accommodations for a February trial in Bowling Green and say no defendants can stay in the same hotel. In Bardstown with photojournalist Jessica Farley, Travis Breeze, WHAS 11 on your side.
The third man in this case facing charges in the Crystal Rogers case is, of course, her ex-boyfriend, Brooks Houck. He's charged with murder and tampering with physical evidence. His attorneys are also fighting to keep his trial separate from the Lawsons, saying if the trials are combined, Houck's team will not have the opportunity to cross-examine Steve Lawson and tell Brooks's side of the story. The judge has not ruled yet on combining the trials. The WHAS 11 News team following this case closely since Crystal Rogers was first reported missing in 2015. For a full timeline of the investigation, head to the Focus tab at WHAS11.com.